What up, peeps? It's your super sketch artist Antonio back with another unboxing, and I don't have just one or two but three different things to unbox. I actually have a little bit of everything. I got not one, not two, but three of the things that WizKids has that is non-blind on the shelf. I have an Iconics, I have a 400 box, and I have a Play at Home kit. So let's go ahead and get these started. I was lucky enough to finally get my hands on one of the last icons to come out, and that is the Cave of the Owl Bear Dungeons and Dragons Heroclix. Please, 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 Heroclix, just continue to make more Dungeons and Dragons iconics. I absolutely love it, and I know that everyone that usually ends up enjoying these because you put something valuable in each one of these boxes. This artwork, of course, is great. If you have not seen it yourself, this, of course, is called the Cave of the Owl Bears, plural, not singular, because there are not one, but two owl bears that come in there. There is a mama owl bear and a baby owl bear. And the thing that most people actually want, which is the Ring of Telekinesis. There was just a big event called Red, White, and Clicks that just happened. Shout out to Wes for doing that. That's one of my fellow brothers that is not only a Clicks player, a good guy, but he's also a veteran. He puts on a very good event. I'm going to try to make sure that I go next year and plan for it. Over the last 6 months, I got to meet him, and he's just a great human being. So with that being the case, I'm just going to start first with the baby owl bear. The cool thing about the baby owl bear is it has a trait that says at the beginning of your turn, if an opposing character is within 4, you can roll a d20. And of course, this comes with a d20, and it comes with this, again, very cute little owl bear. That is just a cute little thing. If you follow me on any of my art social medias, you'll see that I was just drawing owl bears the other day, and it comes, of course, with the mama owl bear too. Look at that. That is big. That's cool. I would be very scared. Whoever came up with these things is just absolute genius. But the baby owl bear says it can roll a d6 or a d20 on a 15 or plus, generate a 004 owl bear, that's the mama owl bear, on their red starting line. And what that does is it puts it on the starting line. It has, which would give it charge flurry. The mama owl bear starts with that movement power that's great. It has blades. It has an 18 defense. It only has a 10 attack, but that's okay. And it has another trait that says when an adjacent friendly character with the animal keyword heals, after resolutions, heal baby owlbear the same amount of clicks, which is great. Baby owlbear for 15 points also ends with a flurry blades attack of 11 and with battle fury, and it has shape change to start. I love this little piece. It's 15 points and can generate the mama. It's generate, so you can have the mama. If you play the 15-point owlbear, you can just kind of keep that and then roll the d6 at the beginning of your turn. You just get it in position, and then now you roll it. And if somebody comes over and if they can't get it, you need 5 clicks to kill this thing right off the break in one attack. I absolutely love this little piece. And again, the mama owlbear, if you put it in at 100 points, it does says if no friendly characters if no opposing characters are within 4 squares in line of fire of owlbear, when owlbear uses charge, do not have speed. I really like that, because you could essentially make the baby owlbear, generate the mama owlbear so that nobody can see it, and then now you get a full move, which with 6 if it was generated, but 8 if you actually play it at 100 points. I actually like that. And it says when a friendly character with the animal or monster keyword KOs an opposing character after resolutions, that character can use regeneration as free. So if you build around that trait just alone for 50 points, you build a monster or an animal keyword. Every time somebody KOs somebody, you get the chance to regen for free. I love that, especially in the day and age where there are tons of bystanders and those types of characters. It has no point limit on this, so I really like this. The big thing that most people really want is the Ring of Telekinesis. Telekinesis has free, but only to place terrain markers. Terrain markers are huge in the game, the huge importance. We're going to see some terrain markers in this play at home kit for the X-Men, but it says perplex, but only to target a character adjacent to a terrain marker. This character placed this turn regardless of range and line of fire. So what you can do is you can TK an object, because objects are terrain. You can TK blocking. Most people are going to be TKing around the phone booth or maybe the heart-shaped herb. You TK it next to somebody. Now you can perplex them regardless of range and line of fire, which is huge. So you can get somebody outside of that 4 range and that some people might have, and then you give perplex to somebody, so you get some movement for some terrain that might help somebody heal, like the herb, or evade damage like the phone booth, and give them a boost with perplex. That is well worth the 10 points that the ring costs, and that's realistically 3 for 3. Each one of the Dungeons and Dragons Iconics has come with some added thing that actually adds to the game, and I absolutely love that. One day I have to play all 3 of them together. I think it would have to be Beholder at 150, the Displacer Beast at 125, and then play the Baby Owlbear at the 15, and then maybe something on one of them to put out the rest of the points, and then I could possibly generate the Mama Owlbear, because why not? And all of them would have monster or animal, and then if they do KO something, people get to heal for free. Next up we have DC Iconics 400. This is one of the latest 400s to come out. Lantern Legacy is one of the newest sets to come out. It is one of the best sets of the year, realistically. It's one of my favorite sets that have come out. I'm a huge Lantern fan. It is my favorite DC property, the Lanterns. And this is interesting for a myriad of different reasons. Inside the box, well, first off, I love which art that they actually chose. This artist is the same artist that's right over here. Ivan Reyes is one of my favorite DC artists, and so I love that they chose this. I actually like the character selection with this too. They chose some of my favorite Green Lantern characters, and they did some of them justice. So this comes with some added stuff in the 400, which I think all non-blind products should come with something added to it to just give people something to buy. Now, if you've never played or bought any of the Lantern Legacy stuff or any of the Batman team up, then you won't have the Green Lantern ring, which this comes with. Comes with a good old Green Lantern ring. Let's go ahead and just put that sucker on, because why not? Beware my power, Green Lantern's light. So Green Lantern ring, of course, gives you willpower. If you already can use willpower, you get a +1 on the result, and of course you can do the power action to generate the constructs. And if you already have the Green Lantern, if you have the keywords that's listed, which of course it is Green Lantern, then making a construct is free. It costs 10 points, or it is free if you have the Green Lantern keyword, which all of these people do. It also has the one-shot Rise of the or Resolve of the Green, which is a very, very popular one-shot right now. When a friendly character that can use willpower is attacked, you may choose that they can reduce penetrating damage this turn and reduce damage taken by 1 in addition to any of the effects. So if you already, let's say if you roll Impervious, and now you can reduce penetrating damage, and on top of reducing penetrating damage, now you can reduce the damage by 1 more. Even on, I've run into this during sealed play, and it was a pain in the butt to deal with, because all it takes is for somebody to hit that one. I had a crit hit on somebody. I was like, oh, that's gonna be like 6-7 damage on your roll blades. He was like, I'm gonna roll this, and then I'm gonna roll this, and I was like, no. It was bad. It was real bad. With that being the case, we have 4 characters that they have chosen. So all of them besides one have a trait, and I'm gonna go with the first person that does not have this same type of trait, which is Jade. Jade has the Outsiders, which is a great team ability. If you want to see how great Outsiders is, watch some of my Team Seal gameplay. That is in my playlist. That's one of my favorite Heroclix matches I've ever had. She also has Mystic's team ability. She has Green Lantern, Core, Outsiders, Cosmic, Herald, and Mystical keyword. She is either 175 or 40 points, as is everyone else in this box. So you could actually just play the whole box and still have room for other characters outside of this box if you really want to, if you've already bought Lantern Legacy, or you could play a 300 or 400 team if you would like. She says other friendly characters with the Green Lantern keyword have Mystics. Now, the cool thing about this is these guys generate these cool bystanders. If you are an old player like myself, oop, I think I already moved them over, then you have the old lanterns that have the actual constructs, which are these, you know, crossbow and the axe and the boxing glove. You already have these actual constructs to use if you want to. And that just makes it so that they have Mystics. When they are hit, the Mystics triggers. So I absolutely love that. And that is a trait. So even at 40 points, you can just kind of let her sit back and then you give Mystics to everybody. And I love that. She also starts with a special power that gives her Psychic Blast when she hits until next turn. Hit characters can't use attack or damage powers, which is great. And for the majority of her dial, she has probability control, but may target a friendly character with the Green Lantern keyword, regardless of range or line of fire. So the cool thing about this is, I think, and I have to see, she might be one of the only characters that can, in Modern, that can potentially reroll. I think she is the only character in Modern that can potentially reroll Mogo, which I absolutely love because it says regardless of range or line of fire. So Mogo sits off of the map, so she would be able to reroll Mogo anywhere on the map. So I cannot wait to use her. I do like Jade. I read her during the run where she was very prevalent with her boyfriend Kyle, which is very cool. Her dial isn't super offensive. She is there to be a support piece. So that is exactly what you would do. You would use Outsiders if you need to. And prob the three of these other guys. Next up, we will look at her boyfriend, Kyle Rayner. He has Justice League, Green Lantern, and Herald keyword as well as the Green Lantern team ability, which the other two all have Green Lantern team ability. He has a trait that says when Kyle Rayner generates one or more terrain markers after resolutions, generate a green construct bystander adjacent to one of those markers. So when he does barrier, which he has as a special power on his first 3 clicks, barrier at the beginning of your next turn, remove that bystander from the game. Friendly characters with the lantern symbol, which all of the constructs have that symbol, can use probability control. So with Jade, they get Mystics. With him, all of your bystanders or all your constructs not only get the Mystics, because when you generate something, you give them their keywords. Whoever generated, the generated bystander gets the keyword of whoever generated. So I absolutely love that. So Jade gives you know, them Mystics, and he gives them probability control. Anyone who knows with the Lantern Legacy, you make the sword, and now with Kyle out here, your swords have probability control. Also with Chase Madeline, you could do the same thing, but that's a whole nother thing. He also has a damage power that allows him to say when Kyle Rayner hits, after resolutions, generate a blocking terrain marker adjacent to a hit character. That's an easy way for him to hit, generate the barrier, and then generate a bystander as well. This game, that marker has adjacent opposing characters must break away to remove that marker from the game at the beginning of your next turn. And all of the constructs that are on their cards have a movement of 5, 4 range, 10 attack, 17 defense, and 3 damage. So I absolutely love that. And that's cool with this Kyle simply because of who else comes in these boxes and what else they give. So this Kyle Rayner, I would probably start him at 75 points. I'm not a fan of, Kyle's my favorite Green Lantern. I do not like this dial realistically, but I can see what the use is of it. He needs just some help on that attack. Him having this 10 attack for most of his dial is not to my liking, but that's all right. Again, his girl Jade is there to help him hit so that he can bury her and then go into a whole bunch of things, because other people can help with all those things that he is lacking. Kilowog is next. If you didn't get, the cool thing about this Kilowog is if you did not get Kilowog in the Lantern Legacy, he was a prime if you did not get him. Or if you want to have Kilowog and you want to run a different prime, maybe Guy Gardner or some of the other amazing primes that are in the game, you can run Kilowog now. He is Green Lantern, Brute, Cosmic, Herald, and Soldier keyword. If you team him up with the new Captain America from X-Men 97, he would get a +1 defense, which makes him an 18/19 through most of his dial. It says when Kilowog hits with a close attack after resolutions, generate a green construct bystander adjacent to a hit character. At the beginning of your next turn, remove that bystander from the game. Friendly characters with the lantern symbol can use Force Blast. So he starts also with a movement power, which gives him charge and flurry through 6 of his 10-click dial. At 100 points, he costs the same amount as the prime, so I wouldn't be super quick to use him. But at 75 points or probably 40 points, I'm not a fan of using characters at their lower point value, but at 40 points, he does exactly what I need him to do, because he also starts with his damage power, which gives him leadership. For the first time, each turn, a friendly character with the Green Lantern keyword is given a costed action. That action doesn't cost against your action total. Mwah, chef's kiss. So he gives you 5 actions. There's a Rogue alternate card that when Rogue hits, she gives it extra action total +1. He does that without anything, without even making his leadership role. He just says, hey, the first time one of y'all Green Lanterns do something, it doesn't even count. That's amazing. This is just an amazing piece. I really, really like this sculpt. I need to spruce it up. I need to put a little shadow on him, because the muscles aren't muscling enough for me. I really, really like this sculpt, though. I wish there was some green energy I would put coming right off of that ring. I'm gonna have to find me some. I really like this Kilowog, and he can get a bunch of stuff for not only the Green Lantern, but some of the entities and stuff like that. You can get those for free. You could give him, if you want to make him harder to hit, you could give him Destroyer armor, make him 55 points, and he's running around and doing some fun stuff with a 20 defense. I'd use it. It's fun. Last but not least, we have the man himself. We have Hal Jordan. Most people, he's on the cover of the box for a reason. Hal Jordan is a beast, and this is probably one of the best versions of Hal Jordan, next to the Hal Jordan super rare that they made in Wonder Woman 80, which is my favorite Hal Jordan and one of my favorite Green Lantern pieces of all time. This is a great piece. He, of course, has Green Lantern keyword along with Justice League, Herald, and Soldier. Again, if he is on a team with that Captain America, he gets +1 defense. That's very cool. He starts off with some invuln, but then goes into toughness and willpower. When Hal uses willpower and succeeds, of course, you can give him this green ring for free to make it a 3 or a 4, 5, 6. When he succeeds on willpower, after resolutions, you may heal up to 3 friendly characters with the Green Lantern keyword 1 click. So, absolutely love that. Again, like Jade, you can play him at his 40-point line and just let him be a battery to just heal up Green Lanterns. And again, he has toughness, so you got to hit him hard to get him. And he does have Force Blast on that 40-point dial. He does have Force Blast with Pulse Wave and Perplex, which is insanity. Because remember, when you Pulse Wave, the knockback is part of the attack. So these people would potentially take 2. I absolutely love that. He starts off like a cannon, though. He starts off with 4 clicks of a special damage power that gives him range combat expert. When Hal Jordan and adjacent friendly characters have this character's combat values can't be modified by opposing effects. So this directly affects a character, him and other characters that are adjacent, that might be going up against a character like the super rare Superboy Prime that says -2. Or yeah, you know, maybe if you're playing in silver and somebody's playing the emotional modifier, or if you're playing against someone like a Freya, that I think gives -1 to characters, opposing characters within 4. So I love that. I absolutely. Or and it's tons of perplex. It's tons of Sinestro, which are the enemies of the Green Lantern that minus attacks and they perplex down. So this Hal Jordan goes directly against that. But this Hal Jordan, when he hits with a range attack, unlike Kilowog who hits with close, when he hits with a range attack after resolution, generate a green construct bystander at the beginning of your next turn. Remove that bystander from the game. Friendly characters with that lantern symbol can use range combat expert. So if he is on the dial, not only can they use force blast, but they can use prob, and also range combat expert. That is absolutely amazing. So that 10-3 turns into an 11-for-4 that you get no points from. Yikes. I love that. I love that. This Hal Jordan is not bad at all. Even at 75 points, he starts off at a 12-4 with energy explosion, and he sees through hindering, which means you can't hide in stealth or get a modifier. I love that. Last but not least, we have the newest thing on the block, which is the Play at Home kit from X-Men 97. A very fun set. X-Men 97 is a fun set. If you have not watched the show, please go watch the show, because the show is amazing. And a lot of the characters' dials are predicated on what they do in the actual show. Of course, we got Rogue and her Raging Cajun Gambit. If you are a Marvel Rivals player, you will know that Gambit just got dropped in the game and Rogue is coming, and everyone's buzzing about Gambit and how good he is and everything like that. With this, you also do get some new terrain markers, which is always good. A big piece of blocking, which is great because someone like Rogue does start with super strength to be able to pick it up. You get some more stuff, some more kind of shapes and everything like that, which I absolutely love, like some L shapes. The main thing that I know a lot of people are excited about this for is this thing right here, which is the practice teamwork one shot. This says for 10 points, says friendly characters have power. Make an attack using this character's printed combat values. They may be given this power action even after being carried. So Gambit can get carried up all the way by Rogue and then do a power action after being carried, which is something that you generally cannot do. That rule went out of style a long time ago in Heroclix. You used to be able to carry somebody and then they could do something, but it was too strong, so they got rid of it. But not with this one shot. It comes back. Yeah, and you can only use their printed combat values, so no modifiers, none of that. But if you have somebody that has either really good power set or you have somebody that has good numbers, you just bring them over. It's a lot of bruisers. It's a lot of people. I know personally, I'm thinking about the Chase Wolverine from X-Men 97 that you can just carry him over and then be like, I'm gonna hit you now, bling, with my printed combat values. I'm gonna use blades. Wow. I'm gonna use blades now. I don't know if that works. Make an attack using this character's printed combat values. It's fun though. It's fun, and it's only 10 points. And that's a very, very good 10 points, I'm sure, in a lot of people's eyes. As far as it comes to these characters, you have a 50-point Gambit and an 85-point Rogue. Gambit has a trait that says at the beginning of your turn, Gambit may roll a d6 and place place the result on his card, removing any other dice on his card. When Gambit attacks, is attacked, or uses super senses, which he has for his first 2 clicks, you may remove a die from this card and replace a die in that attack roll or super sense roll with it. So we all know that when you have dice manipulation like this, everyone wants to roll that 1, just so you're waiting for an opponent to roll that 6 and a 1, 5 and a 1, anything in a 1, and now it's a crit miss, because when you replace it, you cannot re-roll it. It's a great way to force it. Or if you roll a 5 or a 6, especially a 6, you can just hold on to that 6 and then not only make it so Gambit potentially can energy explode, because he has leap, climb, and running shot. When Gambit attacks or his attack. After resolutions, you may place him up to 2 squares away from his current square. This is almost like the Gears of War team ability. Like the Gears of War team ability used to be, you could move up 3 squares or you could attack and then move away, which I absolutely loved. But this Gambit can potentially run and shot, and he has leap climb, which means he can just pretty much jump over people, places, and things. And energy explode. And if he rolls a 6 and he has a 6 on his card, that's a crit hit. I love that. I'm a super sense rolling kind of guy, so this Gambit will be very, very fun to use. Of course, he has X-Men team ability as well as the Spy Assassin, X-Men, and Vehicle keyword. So he could actually essentially be on the Sinestro Corps team if you really want him to be. He could be in Wakanda forever. You know, I love that. This Rogue says she is Brotherhood of Mutants and X-Men keyword only. She is X-Men team ability. She has Quake traded. When Rogue uses it after resolutions, you may move an adjacent friendly character up to 3 squares, which I love that. Again, just being able to potentially move up somebody is amazing, because what you can do is, again, with that shared teamwork, you can charge, carry somebody, quake. After you quake, move them up another 3 squares, and then have them use the practice teamwork. Yuck. She also has Battle Fury on her last 4 clicks, and when a friendly character takes damage from an opposing effect after resolutions, modify Rogue's combat values +1 until the end of your turn. What you can always do. We got Strange Tales coming out. We just talked about a whole bunch of mystics with this Lantern 400. If your opponent or if your friendly attacks a mystic and takes damage from the penetrating damage from the mystic, now Rogue gets a buff, which would make her an 11 for 4. 11 attack, 4 damage, and a 19 defense. Until the end of your next turn, which is, ooh. So yeah, if you do it that way, she would get the bump. It would be your opponent's turn. She still would be there, and it says until the end of your next turn. So you could do it twice and still get that would be cool. So if you did it again, and the same thing, like you let a friendly hit a mystic, they take mystics, you bump her up, she would get another bump up, so she would have two, so she could be a 12 for 5. She's 85 points, and she destroys blocking when she moves. This is a very pricey Rogue. Too pricey for most people, because for 15 more points you can just play the Prime. But if you didn't get the Prime or even the super rare, you could play this Rogue. I also like the main set of Rogue. Rogue just retired a Prime from Deadpool Wolverine that was chef's kiss, the best Rogue I've ever seen. And but these other Rogues are making it, they're trying their hardest. Another cool thing about the play at home kits are always the maps, and this is the basketball court map, which is very, very open. It's a very open map. Does have some hindering, does have some elevated, has a little bit of blocking. And the X Mansion indoor outdoor map, which I think this will be a great map, because in the middle of it you have indoor, and there's tons of blocking and walls to be able to block lines of fire. So if you have some big figures or something like that, you can, really hinder people's line of fire and everything like that, or just being able to get to someone easily. I love that. It reminds me of the old days Future Past map, which I used to play all the time. With that being the case, this is my unboxing, and as always, what say you? Did you buy any or all of these? What iconics would you actually like to get made, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or a comic event and everything like that? X-Men Season 2 is coming, so I'm hoping that we get to see more X-Men. Did you buy into Lantern Legacy and X-Men 97? What did you pull? What were your favorite pieces? As always, leave those comments below. I love to talk HeroClix with any and everyone that wants to. I appreciate you watching my video up until now. If you are still watching, as always, it's your super sketch artist, Antonio. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Go be super.